Hi, I'm Robin Spurl with PBIS Apps, bringing you another how-to. Today we're talking about student demographic data, specifically how you can choose which data to collect in the Swiss suite. Here I've opened up Person Management in this account and selected to add a new student. At a minimum, these are the basic pieces of information you need to know about each student in order to add them to your account. Their first name, last name, their gender, and district ID. However, your students identify as more than just their name and gender. And when it comes to understanding your discipline practices and the way they affect student groups, it's important to go beyond the minimum. To add more pieces of demographic data to each student record and to take full advantage of the equity report in Swiss, you'll need to update some settings. Student information is shared across apps in the Swiss suite, which means these settings are going to be in school settings. Head up to the tool menu at the top of the screen and select, you got it, School Settings. The settings that all apps use are found under the Applications menu along the left-hand side of this window in General. There are 9 settings listed here, and 5 of them deal with student demographic information. Use 504, Use Race Ethnicity, Use English Learner, Use IEP, and Use Additional Gender Options. You'll notice I've set all these to no, with the exception of the Use Additional Gender Options. I enabled this setting in my school's account a while ago, and once you enable this particular setting, you can't disable it without contacting our customer support team. Okay, let's say I want to know which of our students are currently on a 504 plan and which are currently on an IEP. I also want to be able to disaggregate our referral data by our students' race, ethnicity. Well, I've got some updating to do in this window. Let's start at the top and enable the Use 504 setting. Click anywhere in the row to expand it. You see this drop-down menu here? It says no. We need to switch that to say yes. Click the drop-down menu, select yes, and then click the Save button. That's it. Let's move to the next one. Click the Use Race Ethnicity setting. Okay, now here we have 2 drop-downs. The first one is where we tell the Swiss suite we want to collect this information. So we'll change this drop-down to say, yep, yes. This second drop-down menu refers to the comparison group. This is a setting related to a couple of the graphs in the equity report. In those graphs, you'll compare each student group to a comparison group. This is where you make that choice. We've got a whole series related to the equity report and an entire video devoted to their settings, including this one. Check it out if you've got more questions. Okay, I'm going to quickly enable this last couple of settings and click Save. I'll close out of the window and head back over to Person Management to show you how all of these changes affected our new student screen. There, you see now we have more information to add for each new student. We've got their 504 and IEP status, a spot to identify their race, ethnicity, and if we drop down the menu under gender, we see we still have that third option we can select for any student record. The equity report is also available to me, and I can start looking at how our data break down across all these student groups. Making the updates to these settings is such a quick thing to do, but the impact is huge on the level of detail you and your team can get out of your data. Have fun!